the Morning X Top 5. This is it. We're going to squeak it in before we get out of here. We didn't forget. These are the top 5 audio clips of the week. Funny, strange, emotional. We even have an emotional one.
Yeah, today. And I don't even know where you're going with this because sometimes I'm like, what's going to be number one?
Fram, we keep that just like the Oscars. Very, very guarded. We have a little guy come in with a case and they're all in it and I have to unlock the case. Here we go. Number 5 is this new TikTok detective trend that's going on. So there is some marriage that's in major trouble this week because of one of these TikTok sleuths on a plane.
This is a crazy one.
Crazy one. This girl's sitting next to a guy and she sees him doing some stuff and she gets to work.
I cannot believe the sequence of events I just witnessed on this flight that I was just on. If your husband's name is Brian with a Y, and he was traveling today from Orlando, MCO, to Chicago O'Hare on Thursday, March 14th, the flight was around 2:15 p.m. He sat next to me, and the second that he sat down in the seat, he downloaded the Hinge app and created a Hinge profile. And the best part was he was selecting photos from a photo album on his phone titled Dating Apps. He was in a burgundy t-shirt, like a dark red t-shirt, light gray sweatpants, and white on-cloud running sneakers that were really dirty. And his backpack was black, and it was the Razor brand. He's like a little scruffy, had some like grays in his beard over here. Very like large and in charge gentleman, very attractive. He wears a black watch on his right wrist and a silver wedding band on his left ring finger. And I'll put a picture of it right here. And he FaceTimed his wife, who I would guess is his wife, and his child when they landed and said that he would call them when he got to the hotel. If this is your husband, DM me on Instagram because I have pictures, I have proof, and this was just a very odd thing to see. And stay safe out there, girls.
I mean, the details that she got?
It's unbelievable. You do not know who is next to you, behind you, across the corner from you, across the aisle from you.
And she's not doing that anonymously.
No.
I think she's putting herself at risk, if you ask me. You start messing with people's marriages and start turning people in like that? Ooh, that's number 5. All right, number 4 is tragic. And number 4 happened on our show. And it happened on our show 30 years ago? But in hindsight, it's really disturbing to hear Dolores O'Riordan from the Cranberries. Mm-hmm. This aired this week on Best of the Morning X. This morning. It aired this morning. And when you listen to her, it's so sad.
Especially knowing what happened. And, you know, the whole thing is on our podcast, but yeah.
She was drinking and drowned in a bathtub. I didn't realize that they had an album in the can at that time that was released and nominated for a Grammy.
Pretty unbelievable.
So listen to her and listen to the pain in her voice. And sometimes when you hear your friends talking about stuff like this, you just go, they're just whatever. Well, we know now that she wasn't. But have a listen to Dolores. This was from our show.
Well, I didn't really take time off. I was giving up singing for good at the time. In my head, I was quitting. That was it. Like I'd had.
Did you really think you would never sing again?
Yeah,
you really thought that?
Oh yeah,
you
really.
were that frustrated, Matt, just over it.
I was really sick. I was really messed up. I was really just. I'd seen a really horrible side of what I do. I'd seen a kind of a side that was vicious, and I mean, it appeared to me at the time that all that mattered to everybody around me was selling more and being better than what we already were. Whereas when I started singing, to me it was just always because I loved singing. That's all it was about. But I just saw so many greedy people, and it was such a horrible situation. That,
you were 18
I got out
when you joined the band, weren't you?
I was, yeah. And I mean, God, our first album was a surprisingly successful album, you know. And the second album even did better. But when the third album came out, there was so much pressure to just do better. And I suddenly realised that like an awful lot of people didn't really care about our music around us. It was just all about, you know. So, I mean, I suppose it was kind of an abrupt awakening. And then as I started to get tired of touring and I started to lose weight and stuff, speculation started, and it was like I had anorexia according to everybody, but I was actually having a bit of a nervous breakdown. So I took time off, and I went and I just found touch with reality. I found myself alive, you know. I just learned to be a normal person again and to forget about what happened.
Man, all the signs were there, and all the people just kept pressing her for more.
Seriously chokes me up listening to that, knowing, obviously what happened afterwards. But it's like a cry for help. If you want to hear that entire interview, you can hear it on our podcast. But, you mentioned this the other day. Sean Demery, rest in peace, is the one that really picked the song Linger to play, because that was not the official release from the record label.
And we've already got that up on the podcast now, so go to the Morning X with Barnes and Leslie podcast. While you're there, click play on all of the episodes, please, so we can get up the charts somehow.
Please.
Number 3, this is that documentary everyone is talking about called Quiet on the Set.
Yeah, the dark side of kids' TV.
Yeah, this is creepy. This is that guy, what's his name, Brian Peck?
Yes, Brian Peck was the dialogue coach that apparently repeatedly molested Drake Bell when he was 15.
Check this out.
Leo, as you know, is the latest, hottest, hunkiest teen idol there is.
Yeah, muscles.
Speaking of hunky, huh? Leo's job on this set, for some reason, is to make fun of me all day long. Leo, says he was raised in Compton. Mr. Pale as a dead fish belly and blonde hair is straight out of Compton.
Talking about Leo DiCaprio, obviously.
Isn't that crazy? Because Leo was just a child.
I know. So much still coming out about that. All right. Number 2, this one reared up today. It's Cougar Mellencamp, who is legendary for walking off of interviews, concerts. I mean, Google it. You'll find it in all over the world. This is the most recent one in Dayton, Ohio. And so he's trying to tell a story.
He's on stage. This is a real concert.
On stage, there's 10 songs to go. And we know that because of what you'll hear him say at the end. But he gets pissed because someone's yelling for him just to, hey, why don't you play some music or something similar.
It's unreal.
And listen to the sucker punch that he gives him and the surprise at the end.
And she went, "It's just like you, buddy, to be a smart aleck when I'm talking to Jesus." And then it got real quiet.
Right there, they say, why don't you play some music or something?
It's unreal.
And the crowd's like, whoops.
What do you think I've been doing to you? Hey, Joe, find this guy and let me see him after the show. Anyway, before I was so rudely interrupted. Guys, I can stop this show right now and just go home. Since you've been so wonderful, I'm going to cut about 10 songs out of the show.
Wow.
Here we go. I let him get it. You know what? Show's over.
And dude just walked away.
Just walked off stage. I mean, that person yelled out Authority song, which was kind of funny.
Oh, is that what it was? I couldn't make it out.
Yeah, Authority song. But I was at a Elvis Costello concert years ago, and he was upset about the security guard pushing people back and left the stage after 50 minutes and never came back.
I don't get when they do. That's just so...
But he's mellowed out. Mellencamp hasn't.
No, not at all. All right, number 1. I know you know what number 1 is.
Well, which one?
The only piece of audio in the last months to get 2 plays in a row.
Oh, yes, I do know this one.
It was so good we had to do it again. Here's the setup. Dude at a light in his car listening to music, and it's James Blunt he's listening to. His young daughter, 6, 7 years old, directly behind him in a car seat. And he's singing and realizes, oh crap, a bad word's coming. Turns it down, but it doesn't matter. That's the daughter in the back seat.
His daughter in the back seat.
That is the best ever.
The Morning X with Barnes and Leslie. 99X.